There's a battle to be the uncable box for your TV, and Amazon has launched its device. We have Sal Rodriguez here to tell us, to take us through what this thing looks like. We just got it in his hot little hands. It's called Fire TV, right?
It is. It's the Amazon Fire TV, and we just got our version today, so our little review unit. And yeah, Amazon's jumping into this market that's already pretty crowded, but they have like pretty good reason to do so. I mean, at this point, all the companies want to offer something to the users of their tablets and smartphones and whatnot. So Amazon didn't want to get left behind in that
Well, this is a space we're talking about where Roku, Chromecast, Apple TV currently occupy. And how does this one compare?
Well, this one it's like, in terms of aesthetics, it looks a lot like many of Roku's devices, and it looks similar to Apple in that they're just small little black boxes. But Amazon's trying to differentiate itself by making its device faster than the rest and a little more powerful. And that's because their gadget is also, they're focusing not just on streaming video and audio, but also playing video games as well. So
it seems everybody's gotten the Apple sensibility about boxing these days. So it's a nice little slick black box.
Yeah, I think everyone understands that the presentation matters from the get-go. But this is Amazon's, and so it's a little bit shorter than all the other gadgets that are in this market, but it's a little bit bigger and it's definitely heavier than the rest. It feels like it is packed with some pretty serious business inside of here.
Now, when you talk about serious business, we're talking about a quad-core processor, right?
Yeah, and then 4 gigabytes of RAM, and like we said, that's for its gaming capabilities. Like
I think it's 2. Is it 2?
Oh yeah, 2 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, and so for example, like this isn't the first streaming device that comes with gaming capabilities. Like the Roku 3 has some of that, but it's pretty basic, and I mean, you really don't want to be playing video games on that if you can help it. But Amazon understands that there is a market for people who don't want to go out and spend $300 or $400 on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, and so they're doing kind of like the minimum. Like one of the titles that they have on there is Minecraft Pocket Edition. So that is a really popular game, and it'll probably be really popular on here. But they're like branching out from the rest. Like with Apple, you have the main box, but with Amazon, they've also introduced this Fire Game Controller, which looks like what users have basically grown accustomed to when it comes to gaming. And if you pay, this is $99. If you pay an extra $39, you can get this and hook it up to the device. And
it's wireless.
Yeah, and then you have a little gaming, like a very basic gaming console. So.
Well, that's. I mean, for those of us who have these boxes piling up next to our TV, it's nice to consolidate somewhat. So you don't have the Wii, the PS3, the Xbox. What else is special about this particular black box?
Well, they really focused on speed, and the other thing that they wanted to improve on was search, right? So, right now, like Roku's really good at search. It's very fast, but you have to type it in, and that's kind of weird if you are doing so with like the remote that comes with it. Yeah, if you hook it up to like the smartphone app, then it's easier to do it. You just do it with a touch keyboard. But what Amazon has done with theirs is they have a microphone on their remote. So all you do is, for example, you could just press a little button and say, like Will Ferrell, and it'll search for all Will Ferrell movies, right?
Now this is something that the others don't have. Not Apple TV, not Roku, not Chromecast.
None in like in the basic video streaming market, but like Microsoft with the Xboxes, they have some of that. But this is the first time that we see it at this level, and Amazon seems to think that that's the key to searching for content, to making content easier to find.
And when you do your review, of course, you're going to put it through its paces,
of course,
to make sure that it works as it should. Let's talk content. How does it compare?
They got most of what they wanted, and the fact that they have gaming is something that no one else really has. And in terms of gaming, they got basically anyone that you would that you would hope for. You know, they have like Minecraft, they got Disney on board, and they got EA Games. You know, these are notable people, and of course Amazon is going to be making its own games. In terms of video, they got basically everyone, but there were a few providers left out, and the biggest one is HBO.
That's right, Game of Thrones fan. You won't be able to find that on this box quite yet. Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, HBO Go is not here in the initial release of this gadget, and so that's kind of it's a pretty big omission. But you know, Amazon did get Hulu and Netflix. You know, everyone else that matters is on there. They've said that they're working with HBO to get HBO Go onto this device, but there's no timetable on when that may happen. And it's not like super surprising, you know, like none of the other devices have had HBO Go from the get-go. It's always been kind of like a wait and see kind of thing. You know, Apple fans had to suffer through about like 2 years, I think, until they finally got HBO. But you know, for the most part, everyone else is there. There's also like MLB was left out, but I think they've said that one is definitely on its way.
What about music fans? What are they going to find here?
In terms of like audio, like the biggest omission is Spotify, which like, you know, I definitely use Spotify, and so, you know, I'm more inclined to use Roku because they have Spotify. But Amazon said that they're also working with Spotify to eventually get them on there. And you know, and Spotify, like it is a really popular online service, but it's also not on many of the others, like Google Chromecast and Apple. They don't have it yet. But for the most part, it seems like Amazon did really get most of what it needed to in terms of content. The price point like seems like really good. It's obviously very competitive with Apple. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, if people do want to pay like an extra $40 to really take advantage of the gaming capabilities of this device.
Well, if you have any questions for Sal, if there's anything you're interested in when it comes to the Amazon Fire TV, or you recently unboxed the Roku streaming stick, be sure to tweet Sal at Sal19. I'm Michelle Malte. Thanks for watching, and check out Sal's review in the near future.